welcome to the Friday Fraudster podcast. Join them as they discuss sad, funny, and sometimes disturbing fraud stories. Be sure to catch past episodes on your favorite podcasting platform or go to www.fridayfraudster.com and grab some CPE while you're there.
Hey, what's happening?
Happy Friday.
Happy Friday from 110-degree Texas.
Oh, you know what? There's a cure for that, though. Just find a nice swimming pool and just crash it.
Mm-hmm.
Find a nice swimming pool and just crash it.
I think that's called trespassing. Who cares?
Tress what?
Ooh.
Tress what? All right, so look, welcome everybody to episode number 112. Home is where the fraud is. It took me a minute to come up with that one, right? Home is where the fraud is.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's some interesting stuff going on because I think we have people in the chat chatting, but it is not showing up on our screen here. Oh, there we go. There we go. Bob is here saying it's a dry heat. It's a humid
it's not.
heat. It's a humid heat in Houston, man. There's nothing dry about it except my sense of humor. All right, there we go. I was joking with these people in a group that I'm in today about how LinkedIn was being finicky today. I called it Linky. Linky is being finicky with me today, and I just, I need to do something about that. I don't know if there's anything I can do besides complain, but all right. So we got a lot of people here today. We got Clarence, Shafundu, Alaba, all the way from Nigeria. Man. All right. So I got a question for you guys.
We've got answers.
What is your absolute favorite thing about your fellow internal auditors? What's your absolute favorite thing about them?
I mean, it's kind of sad that you have to think about it for a second. That for me, they're trustworthy, right?
Yeah, the trustworthy.
I definitely the sense of ethics and morale is pretty high up there.
Yes. That and ability to think outside of the box.
Ooh, that's a good one.
That's what I think too. Yeah. I like the fact that auditors are typically trustworthy people and we think differently and we do things differently. So for those of you listening, drop into the chat. What is your favorite thing about auditors? What's your favorite thing? Other than the fact that we're just freaking awesome, right? Mm-hmm. Like, we're just freaking awesome. What is your favorite thing about auditors? Okay, so I'll tell you. My favorite thing about auditors is that most of the time we're very honest. And that can be a good and a bad because sometimes we're too honest to where we get in trouble a lot from our honesty. We don't read a room very well because we're that right brain thinking, but it's hard for us to lie. So most of the time we're very honest and very direct. Don't ask an auditor if that dress makes you look fat because
See, but then that's your delivery though, Rob. So instead of telling them the truth, you'd be like, well, maybe if you just wore an oversized sweatshirt over it.
No, that's still dishonest. No, so I'll tell you what. I remember I dated this one girl. So some of you that have been in some of my training courses, you may have heard this story before. Some people have never heard it. So I was dating this one girl and she was small. And when I say small, she was like a size 0. So that's a little bit too small, right? Like you really need a chicken sandwich. I wanted to take her to Chick-fil-A and just, feed her. But she had picked up a little bit of weight. And so then she was like a size 2, maybe a size 4. Now, fellas, for those guys who don't know, that's still very small. Like a size 2 or 4 is still extremely tiny. So we were getting ready to go out to dinner, and she comes out with this. She's a size 2 or 4 now, and she comes out with a size 0 dress on. Did you know this thing didn't look right? It was hugging places that it shouldn't have been hugging. And she looks at me and she says, "Does this dress make me look fat?"
Mm-mm.
Rob, what did you say?
So, okay. So what
Well, do you really want to walk into this?
wait,
Just say.
so here's what I said. I said, it is 100% the dress. And it does make you look fat, but you are in no way fat.
Okay.
She got mad anyway. So, but Galina's like, she should have been mad.
I just learned to stop asking. If I'm going to ask, then I know that I don't feel comfortable in what I'm wearing.
Well, that's the thing. If you don't feel comfortable anyway, don't ask for my approval. But
Stephanie's right. Fail.
Stephanie said it's a fail. Okay. So now that I've stalled enough, I've given people enough time to answer the question. The question is, what is your favorite thing about auditors? And Pamela said they always have her back. Heather says a different point of view. Pamela also says not afraid to tell it like it is. And Karina says promotes transparency and integrity. Now, Shafundu says their ability to learn and understand new context and information faster. Very, very fast. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All good things. Like all really good things. All qualities that I think good auditors have. So today, Christine is like,
I was
okay.
going to say, think like a criminal.
Oh, that is another good one. Think like a criminal.
Yeah.
But don't act like one.
Mm-hmm.
Because in today's story, you know what? Before we get to today's story, I've got a surprise. And that surprise is that I'm going to give away a prize. And here's what I want you to do, though. The prize is going to be a copy of, well, the book, my book. Because today's show is sponsored by Ask Better Questions, Get Better Answers, Perform Better Audits, the best audit book teaching you how to ask, get, and perform. But in order to win it, here's what I want you to do. I want you to drop the hashtag #AwesomeAuditors into the chat, and we are going to select a random winner. And again, auditors are honest. I have a program that is going to select the winner based on the hashtag live on air. Stephanie won a book last week, and I need to get you your copy, Stephanie. It should be there soon. I think it was Stephanie, right? Yeah. Mm-hmm. But I just dropped the hashtag into the chat. That's the hashtag I want you to put in. See, my computer program is going to take all those hashtags and select a random winner. So now. On November 14th of last year, the FBI arrested one of our fellow auditors and charged them with mail fraud and wire fraud. He was the head auditor at KBS, which was a real estate investment trust. From 2012 to last year, allegedly, he stole over $1 million. And what he did was he set up, allegedly, 6 fake vendors controlled by friends and family of his, and he submitted fake invoices for services that did not get performed. And then when those invoices were paid, he funneled that money to his own personal accounts.
think the amount is a little bit higher, probably.
Yeah,
Two.
I think so. 10 years?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Two.
That's just what they were
is it?
probably able to find.
2.6. I think they stopped at 2.6 million
Yeah.
in
Because
10
over
years.
10 years, that's what, a couple $100,000 a year.
Some change for California. Southern
Oh, yeah.
California.
Yeah.
And
50 a year.
I'm guessing he probably started out, because you know what they do, start out small, see how it works, and then just gradually got more. But
Well, he actually looks like he ramped up fairly quickly because the 1 million was stolen between 2013 and 2015. If he started in 2012, then oh gosh, like that's, why did he slow down, but that's fairly brazen right there.
could it have something to do with his department? Did they add more auditors? Were they using analytics software that he had to worry about?
All valid questions. So Bob is asking, he's saying that he found a gap in controls and extorted it. Actually, yes, he was intimately involved with internal controls of how to set up a vendor and how to process a payment.
Yes.
So,
well, one thing that I found interesting is in the articles, they said that he was a part of the accounting team. Internal auditing is not a part of the accounting team. I mean, it shouldn't be. In some organizations, it reports to the CFO, but that's a big no-no, realistically.
Yeah. So it's possible he started out in that department and then gradually got promoted to be head of internal auditing, potentially.
That's possible because it said he had been in the audit department and worked his way up in the auditing department to director. So it's possible maybe he worked somewhere else in the company beforehand. They found him on LinkedIn in one of the articles, and I looked and could not find him immediately, so I kind of stopped looking. You can tell I looked real hard, right?
I couldn't find him at all. I was able to find some of the court information. He didn't like his attorney, so he switched attorneys. And his bond was only $100,000, and he had to turn in his passport.
Otherwise, interesting. Very interesting.
Yeah, so they may have viewed him as a small flight risk in order for him to turn over the passport. Yeah.
And it looks like he put his house up for bond.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, so he was released on bond, it looked like November 28th. December 5th was when he requested his substitute attorney, which they approved. And then December 7th is when his indictment was filed, and that's all I can see without paying $50 for this website.
Right. Well, the other thing that struck me as strange is he enlisted friends and family who presumably owned businesses and had bank accounts. So I don't know if they had existing businesses or if he had them open up new LLCs in order to commit the fraud. But if they had existing businesses, now not only did they put themselves at risk, they also put their existing businesses at risk. So the employees of their existing businesses are at risk as well.
Yeah. I mean, they never questioned, right? It's interesting. Do you think that's the kind of like a cultural thing? Because they never questioned, right? I understand that what happened was he would set up this however many friends, family as vendors. Then he would cut the invoices, right? Pay them, and then would transfer money to his account. So I guess it was okay.
That's what it seems like. That's what's so strange, because they made it sound like he transferred the money, but they didn't say he gave his friends and family a cut, because now you're culpable if you got a cut. So how was he able to enlist 6 friends and family members? What was the arrangement? How much of a cut did he get? How did you let somebody else submit invoices that you know were for services that you didn't perform? 6 different family members?
Oh, insider information. Right? Okay, so he worked for a real estate company, and this real estate company was investing in various properties. So maybe he would find out that they're going to try to sell this specific building, right? And you can buy not the shares, what I'm talking about. It's like another trading opportunity. Right. Investing opportunity, trading opportunity in REIT, real estate investment trusts. So whatever would come up for sale, hey, I heard this, you need to start putting money in here or take your money away or something like that. That's one opportunity I could see.
Ooh, so maybe he gave them insider information to have access to their bank accounts.
If he was a chief audit executive, you know that he would probably be in the know, right? Not necessarily the very, very front, but he would be in the know way before the general public would.
But here's an interesting question that I have. If you are an auditor in that department working for him and you ever audited accounts payable or the purchasing process and you saw these glaring holes and you didn't say anything, like how would an auditor in his department not say anything? So it makes me wonder, did he prevent his auditors from even auditing any of the areas within which he was committing the frauds?
That would not be part of the audit plan.
Right. We're gonna audit accounts payable.
It's not a high risk area. Number one. Oh! I had another question to your question. When they would test those areas, would they select a judgmental or random sample?
Ooh. And who was in charge of selecting the sample? Was he in charge of selecting the samples to get them away? Because look, I just don't understand how $2.6 million goes missing in a short period of time like that. Like that's a lot of money to go missing.
Well, and another thing I sit here and think, as auditors, what is one of the things we do? We find out the processes, the controls. We ask all those details.
Right.
And it's one of those, he might not even have had to, because he was there, 4 years before he started doing the fraud. So he didn't even really, did he even have to do the audit himself? Was it his team that was doing the auditing work? And then he just took their work papers, which he was reviewing, and find, how close was he to it? But me speculating. But yeah, we all know any department that we go into, we're looking at those controls and we think, how could somebody circumvent these? He just used it to his own benefit in a very bad way.
Yeah.
Do you guys know how he was caught?
Yes.
What triggered it?
You know the saying, 2 can keep a secret if one of them is dead? He should have not told his friend.
Oh.
So according to the complaint, he told a friend that he created fake invoices and stole $1 million between 2013 and 2015. That person was interviewed by the U.S. government.
Yep. So kudos to the friend for telling. Well, and here's the other thing. So I looked up the company, and so it wasn't a public company that was subject to Sarbanes-Oxley. Because obviously this is kind of a key control, your payables function, your vendor approval really is what you're talking about, and your payables. So I'm just thinking, how else would this have come out if the auditors had the keys to the kingdom and did not disclose it? Now Bob says Christine brought up another good auditor quality, the ability to speculate.
I do that a lot.
Me too. Yeah. Wow.
That's a long time to get away with that. But think about how many vendors. I mean, I know the company that I work for, I mean, we've got a lot of vendors. So as long as, and with him being the chief audit executive, how much did he also know about budgets, budgetary stuff, that he could have that stuff kind of go through? Or was he doing it through his own department because nobody's going to flag his department if he signs off and they're within budget?
Maybe they had a general cost center, right? Like we all, a lot of companies have that general cost center that just, I mean, you still review it, right? But it's just the one-off, and who knows?
And no, consulting engagements are not cheap.
No, not at all.
That's right. So if you average this out, it comes out to just under $22,000 a month, which is, I mean, it's a lot for a small company, but for Southern California real estate, they deal with huge business, like millions, right? I imagine they're probably moving millions on a monthly basis, you know? So probably no one noticed for a long time. Questioned. And they were performing services, right? Because on the surface, things matched. It wasn't a very glaring scheme. It was a little bit subtle, right? So the vendors were set up, invoices were produced, payments were made to different accounts. So it was, you know, quasi okay on the surface, not to raise a red flag right off the bat.
Yeah.
Did it say how that company made their money, Robert? Was it just on development? Was it on rental income? Was it on both?
I don't know. I think they are developers. Hold on. I actually have their website up.
Because I know you and Galena were talking about it before we went live. I mean, look at during that time, what happened to the housing market?
Yeah. So they sponsor multiple, so this company sponsors multiple real estate investment trusts and sovereign wealth funds that buy and operate office buildings.
Okay.
Yep.
So they were trying to sell a huge plaza, and then they were trying to buy, or they own several buildings. So yeah, they do both, buy and operate office buildings.
Yeah, and so they have properties in San Francisco, Dallas, Chicago, Atlanta, so many of the big cities. So I imagine.
High dollar.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Very
So company's doing good. It's in the black. Everything seems fine.
Yeah, yeah. All right, so right now we have about 10 entrants for the giveaway. So I want to tell you all about something else. So I have a course that's coming up soon. It's in the beta stages, and it's teaching internal auditors how to use artificial intelligence to improve your efficiencies in your audit department. By the way, did you know that AI could actually do flowcharts? So there's a chance to win access to this course. Because again, it's in the beta stages, which means it's going to be free as long as you write a review and give me some constructive feedback. In order to enter into that, I just dropped a link into the chat. Click that link, give me your email address and your name, and that is it. There will be a drawing, and a select few people will have early access to this course. Today is just a day full of surprises and prizes, huh?
You made it a good Friday.
Oh.
Office Space.
Yep. That is exactly what happened in Office Space. And you know what? So look, not everyone has seen Office Space, and I say shame on them if you haven't. So let me just say this. If you're listening right now and you've never seen Office Space, you need to go and watch that movie. It will show you everything that is wrong with the modern workforce, even though that movie is 25 years old now?
Oh, really?
Maybe a little bit older. Yeah, it has to be. It was in the 90s?
I'm looking.
That sounds scary. Ooh.
Yeah, it was
1999.
There you go. I told you.
Oh.
I told you.
Did you take my stapler, Rob? All I think about when somebody says that movie.
Oh goodness. There's so many people right now that don't even get that. They're like, but no, seriously. So I remember I was working at a really bad workplace, and most of us would get together on the weekends and watch Office Space, and it would really lighten our mood. Yeah, Andrew says 1999. Yep, we got it, Andrew. 1999. In 1999, I was working for Deloitte, and I was living in Jacksonville, Florida. No, actually, I wasn't working. Yeah, I was working for Deloitte. I think. No, I was not. I was working for another company. That's right. Bob says it was a swing line. It was a swing line stapler. Oh, okay. So now, here's what I want to know from everybody listening. What do you all think about this auditor who circumvented controls in the company and stole allegedly $2.6 million? Like, how in the world does that happen? And what do you all think about that? Here's what I'm wondering. Could any of us, actually work in a department where someone we know is doing that? Like, is there a way that we wouldn't know?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, absolutely. If you have a bigger department, right, then, the culture, right? I think we talk about culture. Rob, you talk about culture almost in every single episode, and I don't think it's any different here. So if you have a culture where you hear something, you see something, you say something, that's fantastic. But if it's a cutthroat, you got to close this deal, you need to make the money, I don't care, we need to pass these controls, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And no one's going to say anything. I'm just going to get my paycheck and move on. So,
I look at it, I would feel gullible if I would sit here and say that any organization, company, anywhere that any one of us would work at, there isn't some type of fraud going on, even if it's a minuscule amount. I mean, it's going on everywhere. And the majority of the time that I read about it, what happens? Everything is found by accident. How often do we really see people getting caught purposefully, I guess, if that makes any sense? It's just stumbled upon.
Yeah, very true.
Yeah.
Very true.
And the other question is, who audits the auditor?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. This one just caught my attention, though, because he was in a position of trust in the organization. He broke that trust, and he circumvented so many different controls, though. Like, he had to get the vendor set up for one. So now, in the vendor setup, he was able to get it set up without proper approval. Then he submitted invoices that were for services that didn't occur. So now he was able to circumvent that process. How does that work?
Well, it makes me wonder if he submitted them. Like, if he submitted them through the vendor process as consultants.
Yeah, I'm with you, Christine. I mean, they could have looked absolutely legitimate.
Because he would have been the one approving it, probably, as being the head of the audit department, because that's who would be in charge of signing those over. But then it also makes you sit there and think, how deep does their vendor vetting process go through? Are they looking up license? And they could have been, it doesn't cost much to get your LLC license.
Correct. But wait, here's the thing, though. So you think that he actually made them vendors for services that he was responsible for in his audit department?
I think it was either that, or somehow he was able to sneak them in through other departments that would have to approve the services. And then his family or whoever that performed the consulting services, didn't actually do those services. But I think that would be a little bit harder to push past if you're looking for some sort of a product at the end of that consulting service. And if that's going through to a different department, that's going to be harder to hide than if it was being done for his department.
Right.
And then he just said, yep, consulting's done.
Mm-hmm.
But that's the thing that got me. If it was going through his department, we all know that very few audit departments have budgets that are that big. Like we're usually always strapped for cash, so to speak. Now our friends in the audience are speaking. Heather says he makes us look bad. Yes, he does. Now Shree says they had help. I'm guessing he did. And yeah, snitches usually get stitches, but in today's environment, we really need to start snitching more. Let's be real. Now, Bob said if the person doing it has the ability to control what is shared, viewed, and audited, then well, yeah. And Bob also said he had write/edit access instead of write/view only. Oh, so Bob is putting in another wrinkle. Maybe he didn't finagle the system and get it through the system that already existed. Maybe he circumvented it altogether and he had the ability to approve it. Aha.
Yeah, it's the IT level, IT access control, the access level controls, right?
Yeah.
Maybe because of his position, he was able to get those specific. My question is, you guys, he's a CPA, so it's almost like a doctor doing something, like to a patient, knowing that as a result of what I'm doing, I could lose my license, right? So I went to school, I studied, I got in so much debt, potentially, student debt, and I worked myself up, my way up. So my entire career is dependent on this license.
Yeah. It's the whole do no harm, right? Like you said with doctors, and he did his company harm. He did his company hard. Okay. Who's ready for the giveaway? Who is ready for the giveaway?
I was just going to say one thing. He doesn't have to worry about his license anymore if he's facing the total 40 years.
Oh, for sure. He does not have. Well, yeah, he does not have to worry about it. All right. So if you would like to win a copy of my book, Ask Better Questions, Get Better Answers, Perform Better Audits. And by the way, Shafundu did a really nice LinkedIn post about my book today. Go check it out. Thank you, my man. Thank you. This is your last chance to enter before I push the button and we select a winner. So all you have to do is drop that hashtag Awesome Auditors into the chat and you will be entered into the drawing. As you can see, we have 8 people who have entered into that drawing. And I am going to give us like 3 more seconds before I push the draw button and we see who the winner is. Everybody ready?
Let's see.
Draw. Oh, wait, no, wait. Okay. I was about to say, I can't win it, So,
That would have been funny.
I know. I thought it was going to stop on me there. I was like, oh, no, this is going to look like it's rigged. Like I'm cheating, like the auditor in the story we're doing today. So, Nick Clark, if you would like it, you win it. Just DM me through LinkedIn, your mailing address, and we'll get that out to you. We will get that out to you. So, there's the drawing. All right. What else do we have to say about this case? This was weird, man. This is weird.
I just hope he gets the full 40 years. I really hope that it's 2 million. I really want to start seeing people serve longer sentences, paying back the restitution and all of this white collar, pink collar crime. Like 10 years to use that money. I mean, do I think it's going to stop it? No. I mean, I can hope, right?
Yeah. The big question I wonder is why? Because I'm presuming he made a halfway decent salary. He was the chief auditor. But like Kelly tells us, usually it's one of those big life events that steer people into fraud. Marriage, divorce, having a kid, an illness in the family, losing a kid or a family member, something like that. So what happened, to really get him down that path? And what happened to where he felt like he couldn't even ask anyone for help?
Yeah.
I mean, KBS's portfolio grew tremendously during that time as far as the amount of transactions, the volume transactions and stuff. He could have simply been like, this is owed to me. I built your department. I built the department to what it is, and you aren't paying me enough. I mean, because I think once you get up into some of those executive level positions, golden handcuffs, they're not going to go somewhere else depending upon what they have for benefit packages and everything else. So could that be a thing?
That's definitely a thing. And I think too, it depends on who you are. So you could work your way up to a position where you're making a decent amount of money, and then your lifestyle, you try to improve your lifestyle, and then you can't afford your lifestyle, or you feel stuck in a role. So that was his retirement plan, is what you're saying.
I mean, maybe he was going to steal it, cut and run. I know he left right as they were starting to investigate. Was it his plan? I mean, because he was 40 last year when it happened. I mean, if you steal that kind of money, all right, I'm going to work here for how many more years, and then I'm cutting and running?
Yeah.
Maybe you have a big family to support. Maybe, I don't know.
Well, and the one thing I will say is I really feel sorry for the next chief auditor to come into that organization, because this organization has been burned. And so they are going to be very skeptical of the auditing function as a whole. And it's going to be extremely difficult for anyone that comes behind this person. So good luck to whoever you are if you're there right now.
They don't have anybody listed.
Yeah. They may have just decided not to have one. Because I'm trying to think. I don't think that they're required to have an auditing function. Insurance industries are required. Public companies are required. And from what I can tell, this company is not public. So they may have just given up. And now they may actually have more fraud.
Wow.
I mean, they do have a CFO, they do have a chief accounting officer, and they do still have a chief compliance officer. So who knows? It could be something that they still have a smaller audit department.
Yeah.
That kind of might do a quality control sort of function. And then they just outsource. I mean,
that's what I was about to say.
Yeah. After somebody took you for over $2 million, I mean.
Yeah, put that liability on the outsourced company, right? Rather than keep it inside the house. Yep.
Here's what's interesting, though. If they did outsource, or if they didn't outsource and anybody there happens to listen to this, Galina, I think we know some very good outsourcing arrangements that they could make if they called you. You think so?
Definitely. Yeah. Absolutely. I should drop them a note.
I think you should. I think Galina today. So look, anyone who's listening who may want to outsource internal auditing or co-source internal auditing or Sarbanes-Oxley, give Galina a call. She has the resources to help you fill some of those needs that you might have.
Absolutely. Thank you for the shout out.
So, as we are rounding off the show, look, Nick Clark, if you want a copy of the book, send me a message. Now, here's what I will say. If you like this program, go subscribe. Go to the Apple Store or to Spotify and subscribe. Tell your friends about it. Also, check out my other podcast, Audit Bites. Now, it is a seasonal podcast, so I'll run for like 4 months, and then I'll take off for like 3 months, and I'll come back. Well, we're back again, and we'll be running from now until December. We'll have 2 episodes per month. I've already mapped them out, and we have some doozies coming. So go to auditbites.com, sign up at my website or go to your favorite podcasting platform for that podcast as well and leave me a 5-star review. Here's the last thing I'm going to say. If you are a private organization or a publicly traded organization and you have 10 or more auditors, let's talk. I do training for private clients. We have both on-demand and in-person and in virtual options that will get you 40 hours of CPE at more reasonable rates. And besides, you get to talk to me. Isn't that like a bonus? By the way, if you want to see what my training style is like, look at a lot of my reviews and look at the Audit Bites podcast. So, last thing, IA chapters, you're always looking for speakers, call me. I'm not free, so let's just put that out there. But call me.
Well, Rob, we need to talk.
All right. What else? Christine, you got anything?
I got it. I have a
Christine, like, I got a job.
I got a job. I don't do consulting. Anything else? I love what I do, where I'm at, but I love being on the show, getting insight from you, Galena. So thank you for having me on.
Christine is like, I'm going to clip this part out for my boss. I love my job.
My coworker's watching. Hi, Karina. Yep. So anybody over in the Arizona area, anything like that, connect with Karina on LinkedIn. She is helping out. She's on with the
okay.
She is part of their IIA chapter out there, helping that sort of stuff. So connect.
Wait,
with
where is
Karina.
she? In where?
Arizona.
Phoenix.
Tucson.
Oh, Tucson. Wait, Tucson. Call me. I'm already talking to Phoenix. Tucson. Call me.
There you go, Karina. So.
Oh man.
Yeah. So it's Friday for me.
She says.
So I got my hoodie on.
I would melt if I had on a hoodie right now.
Oh, same. Yeah,
I am down in our basement. It is 70 degrees outside here in Wisconsin. It's a beautiful day. I know.
I am going to be in the cooler weather, not to steal the thunder, but I am going to be in the cooler weather. I'm going to see my family, my mama. I'm traveling to Belarus. So,
safe travels.
Yeah.
Thank you. I need it. Yeah, because the borders are currently closed. Nothing flies there. So it's like a doozy trying to get there right now.
Oh, man, I can only imagine.
Are you going to have to hitchhike your way in?
Pretty much. You have to take a bus, and it's like a lottery ticket. You have no idea how long it's going to take to cross the border. Like they give you an estimate, but it could be like between 4 and 10 hours. So,
well, I hope it goes well. I hope it goes smooth.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yes. We hope that it goes smoothly over there for you.
Thank you.
Okay, I just lost my window. Oh, there it is. All right. So. Thank you guys for joining us on episode number 112 of the Friday Fraudster. Home is where the fraud is. Now you get it? Everybody get it now? Home is where the fraud is?
Oh, I love your taglines. We're good.
You know what? It's crazy. It doesn't take that long, though. I sit there and I think, this is what it's going to be. So I have fun. All right, Shafundu, my man. You be blessed. Have a good weekend. Everybody, we'll see you next Friday, and catch the next episode of Audit Bites live on LinkedIn or on your podcasting platforms. I believe it's on the 29th. Yeah, because I'm going every other week, and I did it this week. So on the 29th, Tuesday the 29th, I think at 11:15 a.m. Central Standard Time. I'm going to stop blabbing. Happy Friday, everyone.
Have a good weekend, everyone.
Bye.